the name of the Yeshiva, we welcome and we thank Rabbi Kalish for making time in his impossible schedule for us tonight. We welcome Rabbi Kalish's Talmidim. We feel already from last year, already a kesher with Yeshiva, with the Talmidim. And I want to open up by saying, Hashkacha had it that B'diuk, I was in America at the time, in November, when my Rebbe, Rav Kalish's father, Rav Yoshua Kalish Zatzal, was taken from us b'sara shamayma. I landed in America with my wife on Thursday, and already when I landed, I started making phone calls. I wanted to see if on Friday I can visit Rabbi Kalish in the hospital. And I contacted through Rav Daniel Ginsburg to see if it's possible. And they told me it's not possible anymore at that point. Yeshiva's dinner was on Sunday night, and Sunday I was at the Levaya. I heard Rav Kalish's extremely powerful, beyond the words. And then on Monday night, we flew back there to Israel with my wife, and Monday managed to make a Nichum Avelim visit at Rav Kalish was already here in Eretz Yisrael, but a Nichum Avelim visit at the Rebbetzin and other children. So I want to open up by saying, because Rav Kalish was already in Eretz Yisrael at that time, Hamakom Yinachem Eschem B'toch Shar Avei Tzion Yerushalayim. And I say, as a Talmud, Hamakom Yinachem Osonu B'toch Shar Avei Tzion Yerushalayim. Rav Kalish, I felt a very, very close kesher with Rabbi Kalish. When I think of the five Rabbeim who had the strongest impact on me, it was my three from Yeshiva Farakwe, the Rosh Yeshiva who was just taken from us a couple of months ago, Rav Kalish, Yeshua Kalish Zatzal, Rav Aaron Braufman, and then I had the privilege of learning by my grandfather and Rav Moshe Shapiro here in Eretz Yisrael. And when maybe this can bring about a little bit nechama with my work in chinuch. I'm trying to continue a little bit of main of what I learned from your father. Rav Kalish, I'm not going to be marach now. We came to hear Rav Kalish. I just want grabbing this opportunity to publicly express, my available express, get across to you guys what an ish pella Rav Kalish was, Rav Yeshua Kalish. Pella, I'm going back to the Ramah in Siman Vav Shulchan Aruch that talks about Mekasher Davar Gashmi V'Davar Ruchni. And when I talk about it, the more I talk about it, the more I've met the Pella is such a Pella. I can't think of, at the same time, it's a Pella, I can't think of a bigger masmid, constantly being osek in Torah, and as everybody knows, Rav Kalish finished Shas 40 times already back then. I was a Talmud of Rav Yoshua Kalish 45 years ago. And already then, he was a Baki B'Shas, and that was 45 years ago. And always learning and always raising at the level, right? Rav Kalish's tests every Sunday. We had to really know. We had to know what we were talking about. When you get now, I remember three things that are hilchos b'lotam, and I had asked Rav Kalish something once connected to hilchos b'lotam. Every time I used to meet Rav Kalish afterwards, he says, "Oh, Ari, hilchos b'lotam." I remember getting constant dibur b'Torah, and at the same time, I remember I was in the first chevra that Rav Kalish drafted me for the ski trip. When the ski trip started, I was zocheh to ski with Rav Kalish, and I was zocheh to break my arm playing tennis with Rabbi Kalish. I was leaning over to get a backhand, and I fell in Camp Haram after my 9th grade, fell down on the ground, broke my arm. I got the shot. But I was down on the ground already, and Rabbi Kalish returned the shot, and he got the point. Years later, when I saw him, he came back and he said, Ari, I shouldn't have taken the shot. I was ready on the ground. But what a pella, combining the excellence in both areas. What a loss for Am Yisrael, and what a machaya for us to strive to implement that in our lives. Finish off with understanding the house that Rav Kalish is coming from. When I went to be Menachem Abel, so I was so touched that the Rebbetzin gave me, I was there with my wife, it was the first time I was introducing my wife to the Rebbetzin, and she gave me Rav Yeshua Kalish's Sefer Ha'aras on every daf and Shas, and I was so touched. She said to me, she asked someone to bring the Sefer from the back room. He said, I know my husband would want you to have the Sefer. So I was flying back to America that night. I said to her, wow, I can't wait on the plane to learn B'ma'ayin in the Sefer. So the Rebbe says to me, and I give it to my wife, she says, on the plane you should be speaking to your wife. that godless of what you're doing, you do right. The Pella. So Rav Kalish comes from a house of Pella, and he's continuing. That's the nechama is a big nechama for me to see Rav Kalish's legacy, Rav Yeshua Kalish's legacy continuing, and to see what Yibad L'chaim Aruchim B'Tovim, what the impact that Rav Daniel Kalish is making on the world, and making a know on our Talmidim here and around the world. You should continue Mechayel and Chayel to be Matzliach, and we should all continue to, as I said before, to internalize, to take in what Rav Yeshua Kalish Zatzal was trying to give over to us. Our learning should be maximum level with Hasmada and with knowing what we're learning, and at the same time being normal and being Mekadesh Shem Shamayim through being Me'urav Ima Brios, as the legacy continues on of Daniel Kalish, that you go see everywhere the fire of people being connected to him by seeing, feeling his connection, his leiv, his words of Torah, of Chachma, of encouragement, bringing about Kiddush Shem Shamayim Be'ezat Hashem. We zocha very soon. The days are days that we don't understand. It's beyond things that are happening beyond. So what we do understand is we're closer to Geula, we're closer to the Binyan Beis HaMikdash, and we're closer to Yakitzu, V'yiranu, Shochni, Afar, Tchias HaMesim, Be'ezat Hashem, B'karav B'yamenu, Be'ezat Hashem. Sorry for taking too much time.
First of all, a thank you to Ray Waxman for his kind words and his accurate words about my tata Renika Paras Mishkava. It's appreciated, the words and the nechama of a Talmud who's on fire, who's as chiyus and ruchnius is a real nechama. That's the deepest nechama. Is that tzaddik memisas and kruyim chayim, the impact that it's here. So that is a nechama. There's a true nechama in that. I'm not zeicher to be in touch on a consistent basis with Ray Waxman. We weren't in I was a little kid. I'm a few years younger. He's young, and I'm even a few years younger, Ray Waxman. But I was a couple of years younger, and I wasn't zeicher when he was in yeshiva to be specifically close. I didn't have that schus. And over the years, Ray Waxman's in Eretz Yisrael, and I'm in Chutz La'aretz. Ruchnius, you could feel it. It reverberates across the world. It's just the way it works. I don't know why it works that way. You can sense things going on. You can touch it when you walk into places. Ruchnius is the most real thing in the world. It's the deepest thing in the world. It's everything else is but a mushal to the world of people serving Hashem, of sincerity. That's the deepest thing in the world. And every time I meet Ray Waxman, you can walk in here. It's just to say I appreciate being in this space medrash and Rishus the Rosh Yeshiva and the Ramim. I'm zeich what I see in Rav Waxman. We're zeich to share Rebbeim. The Rosh Yeshiva, who Rai Perish Shlita, was both of our Rebbe Zatzal. I still saying Shlita. He was nifter this year. Our Rebbe was nifter, and my father, who was my Rebbe as well, was a Rebbe of Rai Waxman. And Rabbi Brafman was a Rebbe of Rai Waxman, a Rebbe of mine as well. And we share Rebbeim. And there's a kirva, there's a closeness of people, a very deep closeness of people who share the same Rebbeim. The same chiyos, the Torah that was mechayim me was mechay Rai Waxman. The Torah that energized, that was meraymim me and megadol, that means something to me and meant something to me and will mean something to me, was a Torah that Rai Waxman absorbed as well. And there's a kesher that's meaningful. I like in yeshiva when guys meet each other from very different years, and like you would think they don't have a shaykhus, that they're brothers. From the same base medrash, from the same ideals, the same idealism. It's brothers mamish kipshutai, and the feelings of somebody who has a chiyus in ruchnius, avas yisrael, and a fire in ruchnius. That ruchnius matters, idealistic, and there's a chiyus in the service of Hashem. You could feel it, you could sense it. The chever, it exists in this space medrash, and I thank Rai Waxman for hosting and allowing me to come to share with the chevra. Be'emes on my mind is like Rav Waxman said. I would love to share thoughts from my father, but I could see he would say to me, Daniel, how are you not talking? You're not going home. Everything you have to talk. He would tell me that's what to speak about. It has not this, like Rav Waxman Shlita said, they're complicated sugyas a lot. Put aside any sugya, a yid. Am Yisrael's busy with the value of one yid. I'm not a political guy, I don't care for this stuff. In the world, I don't think kidnapping exists much. Ukraine and Russia are in a fight. It's not a big sugya. Now, people get kidnapped. There's Rahman al-Islan, it's an Isra in the Torah, it's in Mitzios, and people get upset. There's no people in the world that it's the sugya like it is by us. And even the complicated aspects, but if we free, then it's a sugya because we're a people that value every person. There's no people in the world, it's not Negein in the other country, it's not Negein. It's not a thing. In wars, kidnap, they're upset, America would be very mad, it's not right, a chutzpah. People aren't struggling to sleep. It's not every tefillah, Shabbos, it's not what's happening. And you have the people that values every yid. That's deeper than any shita in halacha, any shita politically. We're a people that values every yid. A yid counts. It's a truth, it's a mitzios. A yid, a guy counts too, but we're a people that are machshav, that have a cheshivas for each other. There's a value for one yid. There's no people in the world that value one like we value one, and are unwilling to say on one, okay, but say, we don't, everyone, each and every one. I want to share a maisa that actually involves, my father was unbelievably mechabed. He was mechabed Yidden, all Yidden. The Yid had a tremendous value. A Yid learning Torah, every Yid, any Yid, from a Yid learning a few minutes a day to every Yid had a cheshivos, every Yid's right to Torah and to learn Torah. And many years ago, my wife and I moved to Waterbury, Connecticut. Now, the city did not have a minyan during the week. There was no minyan of Yidden davening during the week when we moved there 25 years ago. On Shabbos, there was sort of a minyan. A Rav came, who's a wonderful Yid. He's in Shemayim today, he's in Olam Haba. He came, he was a lawyer, and this Yid, a wonderful person, would come Shabbos, and there would sort of be a minyan, sort of. So I was there. We started Shemona Esrei, and the guy started saying about another guy, he's a guy, he shouldn't be counted. The guy said, I'm not trying to trick anybody, I am a guy. I invited one of the minyan over to my house. He was such a nice guy. And I brought him on the middle of the Suda. My wife said, Daniel, he's not, ladies, my wife, Al-Nashim have a bina Yisera. He was eating up everything. He was so excited. My wife called me in the kitchen and said, he's not a Yid. And it turned out she was right. He was a wonderful guy, and he probably is a lot closer to Hashem today is good, but so the minyan was complex, and there were old Yidden there. There were old Yidden in the city, and they grew up very far from Yiddishkeit, from Yadus. I asked my tata right away when we came. I said, could my tata made a siyum hashas every year, and I asked him, could my wife and I make the siyum hashas for you in Waterbury? I thought it would be very special. These Yidden had never been to a siyum on Sechta. Let them come to a siyum hashas. And my parents agreed, and we invited the yeshiva, which was small at the time, and we invited all the locals. They wore their nicest stuff. I remember one of the guys putting on a huge cowboy hat. He'd never been to, it was exciting. He wore a huge cowboy hat. I remember the picture of the guy wearing his, the chevra came there. It was very inspiring. They came to a siyum hashas. Now, my father said to my mother the night before the siyum hashas, they were talking about Slavchad. And my father said that I want to meet a Noah. I've never met a Noah. You could ask, did he ever meet a Chagla? It's a good question. I'm just telling you the story as it happened. That my father said, I want to meet a Noah. I'd never met a Noah. That's what my father said to my mother. He then comes to the siyum hashas. And one of the couples I invited was a lady, Mrs. Noah Miller, and her husband, Reb Jerry. Reb Jerry was a beautiful Yid. In 23 years of friendship, I heard a few sentences from him. She spoke for the both of them. She was the spokesperson. She had a lot to say, Mrs. Noah. Amazing person. She had a lot to say. Reb Jerry was a great listener. Perfect shidduch, and Reb Jerry would listen to a very beautiful Yid who steig the Welt. Now, when we moved to the city, they had a very difficult relationship with Yiddishkeit. She grew up. A Yid is precious. A Yid is big. This Sadekis grew up in a communist kibbutz in Eretz Yisrael that did not like Torah and mitzvahs. That the Yid loved Torah and mitzvahs. Communists were trying to get Yid not to be in Torah and mitzvahs. To say how extreme it was, she wasn't raised in her house. You hear this plan, Shui? She was raised in a central house. You're not allowed to have your own kids. That's how Meshuggah. The kids weren't raised by their parents. You hear a good plan. Filled. And she was raised in a central house with the other kids on the kibbutz. And you can imagine she had a very, very difficult life. When we moved in, it was a struggle with Koil guys, and she was wonderful to us. Wonderful. And she would express her struggles, and she told us she had a son who became frum, and that was a struggle for her. The son, and they weren't in communication for a long time. It was hard that her son betrayed her family and became frum. And over the years, she steiged a lot, became close to her son. She told us about a grandson who was learning in BMG. She told us about this grandson who was in Kailo. She explained the challenges for her of that concept. But she has an enochal learning Torah. Mrs. Noah Miller came to the siyum hashas, and my father, I introduced Reb Jerry and Mrs. Noah. My father says, Noah, last night I said to my father, Noah, I can't believe I'm meeting you, and they hit it off. My father loved Yidden. And he was mechabed lo yuman. It wasn't like a good trick. It wasn't like that. If it wasn't that he wanted the night before to meet a Noah, that hashkacha, he was nishtoimim, a Yid. For 25 years when I met her, she had a lot more things to say. But every time she would say, your father waited his whole life to meet me. He wanted to meet a Noah. And here I was, Mrs. Noah Miller. And that was Mrs. Noah Miller. Before Yom Kippur, she was nifteris. With a Rav there, a Rav that she was close to. She had welcomed our community. She had blended with our community, became a member of the Frum Shul. Steig lo ye'uman. After Sukkot, We had been looking, my shul, we wanted a kollel to learn Torah in the shul for about 2.5 years. And through a whole Ma'aseh Hashgacha, we find this young man, Goin B'Torah, Bal Midas Lo Yu'umen, and we find him and we bring him in to start a kollel in Blue Ridge with younger light, and they've elevated the whole city. It's Mrs. Noah Miller's grandson. I can't believe it's Lo Yu'umen Ki Yisupar. Mrs. Noah Miller, and she was told before she passed that your grandson's coming in the city that you adjusted, and you precious Yid welcomed Yidden who were different than you, and appreciated and respected and bonded with Yidden different than you. And in your journey, your grandson's coming to teach Torah in the city of Goin B'Torah. He's coming to teach. We had a Suda to welcome the kollel, and after the Suda, I went up to David Ma'ariv, and the Rosh Kollels, Mrs. Noah Miller's son, came to the Suda. I ran up, I'm Mechiyev to David Ma'ariv, I said Kaddish. Me and Mrs. Noah Miller's son said Kaddish together, me for my tata, and him for Noah Miller, the Noah my father wanted to meet his whole life. And I say to the Chevra, of course, the Meichen Mitzadei Gavra, Hashem sends us where we're supposed to go. The Ashkachas Hashem, where we are, when we are, is like Lo Yu'umen, just the things going on that Hashem is moving, but much, much more what hits me. Now, it doesn't need, if there were older people there was an old Yid, Mr. Alexander, who never got married, never had children. This beautiful Yid who didn't learn in yeshivas would teach us how to handle the Torah. That's how we would say it. He'd give us lectures. If you ever gave him time a day, he would tell you how to handle the Torah. He was handicapped in one arm. He had one good arm. He was very strong. And he would show how to handle the Torah in Oifen Shel Kavod. Respectful, beautiful Yid. It doesn't need that her grandson's a Rosh Kollel teaching Torah. That's only an assistance. It's only an external assistance to know never, ever pass over a Yid. Our entire nation, we could get so distracted from sugyas, we can miss the sugya. We can focus on all different things. The ikar sugya going on is that's the ikar. Everything else is tuffle, and it's a smokescreen to distract us. The ikar is we're a people that care about kol yachid v'yachid shabi Yisrael, and value and are makir that we have no extras, not one. And we're makir, everyone counts. That's the ikar sugya that we're all in. That's the sugya. Everything else is a distraction from the sugya. Unless you're the one paskening things, or if they ask you the psaks, then it's not a distraction. The ikar sugya for everybody, that Klal Yisrael is like orangutan. This is the sugya of our people. This is the sugya of our people. We don't usually say Tillim on Shabbos. Across the world, you can't go to a minyan that doesn't say Tillim every Shabbos. Every Ma'ariv, Shachris, Mincha was saying Tillim, because we're a people who cares about Kol Yachid V'Yachid. There's no extras by our people. There's no such thing. And we're makir the chshivas of a Yid. A Yid is chashuv, a Yid counts, a Yid can't be overlooked and shouldn't be overlooked. This is like dvarim pshutim by our people. This is something that's true by us. It's something we have to bring into our lives, to our own mishpachas, not to overlook a sister, not to overlook an aunt, a shachen, a neighbor in our community, somebody in the shul. Don't overlook anyone. I remember after learning by my Rebbe for a while, there was an old Yid who was from Russia. The Yidden that come from there, I have like a tremendous appreciation. A lot of the greats, a lot of our people came by way of that country, and people we withstood. It speaks about the power of a Yid. It speaks about the loyalty of a Yid. It speaks about the perseverance of a Yid. It speaks about we're a nation that we're not going to break. We're a nation, we're a strong people. And there was a candy man in Yeshiva as a youngster. He was like almost a comedic figure. He gave out candy. He was strong. He was a truck driver. That was his profession. He would squeeze your hand and you walked away hurting. And he didn't have any yeshiva education. He would come to my Rebbe's speeches by Shal Shudas. My Rebbe was saying Dvarim Neflam, and he would hear like a side point. As I was getting older, understanding my Rebbe's teachings and absorbing my father's teaching, I made a chavrusa shav with this beautiful Yid who loved Torah, wanted to learn Torah. My father learned with many interesting people. Each person, Yid wants to learn Torah, was valued, was respected, was appreciated. A Yid's right to learn Torah, just the appreciation of a Yid was a basic, was something that was in there as the covet of a Yid. My father was very, very against leitzanas. Now, leitzanas didn't mean funny. He loved funny people. The funny you were, the better. His best friends were comedians. Because if you misameach Yidden, there's nothing to do with leitzanas. Like the highest thing. Somebody makes Yidden happy, that's like the highest thing. I brought my father to the camp that I'm involved in, and Lipa Schmelzer was making a concert. My father, he makes Yidden happy. That's how he lived. And Lipa's somebody to respect. He makes Yidden happy. That's like, by his worldview, somebody sings for Yidden and cheers up Yidden. That's like very big in his worldview. Makes Yidden happy. Lipa Schmelzer says in the camp that I run, he spoke beautiful words before he sang. And he said, if you have a taina on a Yid, you should forgive the Yid. My father's sitting next to me. He said, Daniel, you know what Lipa said? Reb Lipa, he misameach Yidden. He said, I'm very upset at somebody. He said, and I'm going to be Michael the Yid. Comes at Shiva, Yid comes up to me at Shiva, and he says, I want to tell you, I was great friends with your father the last few years. He said, I'll tell you why. Your father called me, and we mamish became pals. He told me that Lipa told him to forgive, and he called me up. I knew I was sitting next to my father. When he told me I'm going to forgive, I found out the end of the story. He's misameach Yidden. He's misameach Yidden. That was very, very high up. Somebody's misameach Yidden. Somebody cheers up Yidden. Somebody, the chshivas to a Yid. The chshivas, a Yid has tremendous chshivas. Every Yid. There was no putting down. There was no overlooking Yid. And there wasn't such a thing in his world. There wasn't such a thing. A Yid was chashiv, a Yid counted, a Yid was respected. Leitzanas wasn't being funny. If you were a comedian, that's the opposite of leitzanas. You got it. You were misameach Yidden. Leitzanas was putting down something that's chashiv. I saw somebody wasn't serious about a mitzvah. Oh. That was very fierce. Mitzvah, don't mock a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. We're born for that. Don't mock a mitzvah. You mock the Yid, that's leitzanas. Don't mock a Yid. Don't mock Torah. Torah was very serious. Torah, every word of Torah. There was no making joke. Torah was serious. That was leitzanas when things that deserve chashivas weren't given chashivas. And the chashivas, the covet of a Yid, is the sugya of Am Yisrael right now. We're celebrating no matter what anybody held. It's nothing to do with the shita. A Yid's walking home is like, it can't not be said tonight. A Yid walking home. It's nothing to do who holds what. It's not part of the sugya. A Yid's walking home. A Yid walking home is a big thing. One Yid. It's a big zach. There's nothing to do with somebody held us or this. It's not the sugya right now. It's nothing to do with the sugya. A Yid walked home is a sugya. You're missing the sugya. If you had to be the paisek, then you have a sugya. If not, you just know a Yid's walking home. A Yid is chashiv by us. A Yid is chashiv. A Yid counts. A Yid matters. I'm noticing tefillah more. I'm saying extra Shemona Esreis every day, at least 4 Shemona Esreis a day, sometimes 5 Shemona Esreis a day. I struggle with time. My father was wonderful with time, was never late to anything, and he had a son who was just time challenged, like in a crazy way. And I asked Mechila, I should not have been late. I'm trying to be better, and I'm doing a little better. My clock's getting better. This is the best I've ever been in my life this year. And my father has a nachas, and my wife is laughing her head off as I'm running to Minyanim trying. So I'm noticing words of Tefillah Baruch Hashem. It's kedai to be on time, and I'm noticing words more. The amount of times in Shemona Esrei we say your people, Klal Yisrael, Amcha Yisrael. It's so gorgeous. We daven for Klal Yisrael, obviously. We're davening for our people always. Tefillah is about our people. Every Shemona Esrei is about our people. Sure, we're allowed to put in our stuff too. We're busy with our people. The amount of times that we say in Shemona Esrei, Amcha Yisrael, Yisrael Amecha, and all different versions like that, it's the most, besides Ata Hashem Melech HaOlam, the most common phrase in Shemona Esrei is Amcha Yisrael. And one Yisrael Amecha. your people. I love saying those words. Like Ishmak to Yisrael Amech, we say it again and again. You could count in Shemon Esrei. Easily you get 7, easily. But I think it's a little more. But over and we say your people, Klal Yisrael, your people, our people, the people of Hashem, our beautiful people. And the sugya that Klal Yisrael's in is appreciating Kol Yachid v'Yachid. We have to bring that to every aspect of our life. Don't miss out on the sugya. When we're davening for a Yachid, when we're thinking about Yechidim, when we're saying we're not mivater on one, and when a whole sugya becomes, because we're not mivater, so and they know this is a big problem. The Goyim know that we care about Kol Yachid v'Yachid, so then there's halachic shaylas and good shaylas. But the sugya here is that we're a people that don't look past one, so bring it to our lives. Bring it to the Beis Medrash, bring it to the dormitory, bring it to your family life, that a Yid doesn't neglect. There's nobody we're willing to be mevater on. That's not how we function. It's interesting, when we came to the city, I'll admit, I wasn't thinking about Mrs. Noah Miller. I had different thoughts. Now I laugh at myself. We moved there for this Sadekis, for this 1 year. This year we should bring with her a little bit. We overlook things. It wasn't even a thought to think she has a grandson or Reish Kol. It wasn't like this is like a ripe key of opportunity of a young, vigorous community. There were older mishpachas who didn't have children, and the children weren't part of their lives. But you don't overlook a Yid. Once a Yid is not overlooked. A Yid's not overlooked. That's a sugya that I have to share with the Chevra tonight and mention. I wanna switch to another point that's very relevant. I want to sing 2 songs on this other point that's very relevant to today. Like Rav Waxman Shlita said, we're living. There's challenges. There's and this whole situation brings out a simcha mixed with difficulty. I was thinking on Chanukah a lot. I was thinking, obviously, Chanukah is l'hoidus u'lahalal, to say Shevach v'Eidah to Hashem. And I was thinking how to be more present to the goodness that Hashem gives us. The Chesed Hashem of being more present. And when I think about it, I was thinking that the difficulties that we encounter distract us. We have a lot on our plate and different things, and we're distracted to absorb the simple kindness of a glass of water. Simple kindness. Somebody poured water. It's wild. The kindness, and that chesed that a Yid gave water is a chesed from Hashem. And we're too distracted to absorb kindness, to feel we're distracted. And what's obvious to me is that emunah helps to appreciate chesed. If we could have faith, if we could have a yeshiva das, we're in good hands, then we could appreciate the kindness. I want to tell you a story about my father. I wasn't planning on saying it, but I want to tell you this to me, a story. My father in the hospital at the end, he had been healthy. His schedule as a 78-year-old in the summer, Sukkot, mamish till the last 3 weeks, his schedule, I don't have a half of that schedule. The schedule was lo yu'umin ki yasupar, not believable. He was a Rosh Kollel, he was a Rosh Yeshiva of a Sephardi Yeshiva, said a Daf Yomi every day, learned 7 blot, was writing a sefer on Shas, was raising millions of dollars for tzedakah, was running a couple of families that he was pashat to father the family. There wasn't the present father. It's lo yu'umin what he was doing. It's not like a norm. My mother said the busiest time of his life was the last couple of years. A schedule lo yu'umin. And all of a sudden, he gets sick. And all of a sudden, in terrifying, he's lying in bed, he can't move. And my family saw a faith. He was calm. Completely calm. I'm in good hands. It's lo yu'umin. I'm telling you a fact. I was there by somebody who was half in this world, and he said to me, I'm happy with my life. I want to live more. I want a bad thing. Hashem will give me more as I beg Hashem. But I'm in good hands. I'm in good hands with Hashem. To tell you how calm he was, he said to me that I'm feeling so much chesed Hashem. I said, Abbas doesn't feel like chesed Hashem. So what do you mean? He said, people are davening. I feel so much love. And he was like absorbing. He felt good. It was like a pella. because of the emunah of the difficult situation, he was able to absorb. There's so much love coming in. He felt so good about it. He was like excited. I'm feeling. Who's thinking about that? Only if you have emunah. On the challenge, there was emunah. I'm in good hands. Hashem's working with me. Now I'm aware. To have emunah, each one goes hand in hand. To have emunah, I have to see that Hashem is doting on me. He's into me. But to see Hashem's into me, you have to have emunah. You have to get both together. They have to come together. They have to be zusammen. They have to be together. They have to be together. And on Hanukkah, I came to the conclusion in my life that I want to be more present to the kindness of Hashem. I want to just sit down to a meal and fall in love with God. So Hashem is so nice, and He is. And I say that my worries distract me, so I'm going to work on B'tachon. That's what I decided. We sit down with Yitz Rabinowitz Chaim, and you can't make it up. Like I decided this on Hanukkah, and I have a group of friends who are sitting down for Farbrengen to learn different Torah, to connect to Hanukkah. And I said, no, Yitz, start a song. And he started, Vani b'chastecha batachti. I couldn't be happy. I said, why? I said, why did you pick that song? But that was cool, what I was thinking about. And he started, Vani b'chastecha batachti. That I'm boitech in your chesed, Hashem. That even in difficult situations, I have a betachon in your chesed. B'chastecha batachti. I could be calm and comfortable. B'chastecha batachti. Even difficult things, Hashem's working with us. He has a plan. I'm in good hands. I saw my father. I saw Yid. I'm in good hands. You couldn't believe it's lo yu'uman. It's not shaykh. I was telling a nurse that he's a big person. She quieted me. She said, "I know what I'm saying. You never see this. There's no such thing." Calm, elevated. I would even say like a simcha. There was a calm tranquility in the room. It was like the Kodesh Kadashim. It was lo yu'uman. Singing Zmiris. The last night with my mother singing Zmiris, Karibaim, sang Elokai Neshama 5 times. La Yu'uman, teaching a Gemara. Right before he left, the last thing he taught, just my mother, a Gemara. Teaching a Gemara, B'simcha. You're talking about Emunah. And when we have Emunah, we can absorb the Chesed Hashem. We can be present to the Chesed. Don't want to be pretend with the Chevra. It's not easy. We're talking about 2 things, but we're Yidden, we could do it. We could live with faith. Hashem's working with us. It's not easy. It's not easy. And we need the absorption of the kindness to have the emunah, because I could feel He's into me. And I need the emunah for the absorption of the kindness. They're just 2 things that Yid and us were amazing at. And it's the story of our people. In difficult situations, we can have an emunah, crying, feeling, not as an excuse not to be present to things. Difficult, but a powerful faith. We're in good hands. And then we can be present to the kindness of Hashem. So if we could sing together the Balatanya's Keliyat Vaideka and Vani B'chastecha Batachti. Is Avi Beitler, he starts that the exact key. Elias, is Avi Beitler in the room?
No.
Okay, I'll try to start the right key. He nails the key. It's very important to get the key. Let's see. Vani b'chastecha batachti. The Chevra knows the sermon. If you don't know it, you won't be more off key than me if you don't know it anyway. So don't worry. Vani b'chastecha
Yeah.
want to close that with a chiddush that when we say to respect the Yid and not overlook a Yid, the first one you should start with is yourself. Don't imitate other people. Be you. Crack your jokes. Say your pshat in the Gemara. Be quirky you, funny you, cool you, nerdy you, whatever you is. Just bring yourself comfortably. Hashem created each mensch and wants each person. Each person's journey matters. Each person's svara matters. Each person has a seat at the table. It matters a lot. So bring ourselves with in learning. Say your svara, say the svara that's in our own, in all the aspects of our life. We count. We matter a person. A yid is chashuv. To give it to others, we have to bring it to ourselves. You can't give it. It's unlikely to give it to others and see it in others. We don't see it yid. A yid is a big zach. It's just true. It's just true. How can we end? We have to end, but without peel the klipa chaim. There's no. We can't do that. Let's sing one time, but Taka, let's see it in the way they are. Let's see neshamas, big neshamas, big people. That's just the truth. It's just the truth. So let's say the truth. Let's sing the truth, and let's live the truth. Chaim, let's go.
Of the cleanness and say the Benemis every day has a neshama. Feel of the cleanness and say the Benemis every day has a neshama.
All the Bnei Torah, we should all be zeichet to see the Yad Hashem, to feel the Chesed Hashem. Our people, the entire Am Yisrael, should absorb the Chesed Hashem, should see Hashem's into Am Yisrael and wants Am Yisrael. We should see speedily our Ramas Karen Yisrael, Yidden safe, Yidden gesund, and Yidden vibrantly serving Hashem without any mafriya. We should serve Hashem in a beautiful way, full of chaos, full of energy, full of sincerity. Everybody should have tremendous siyata d'shmaya in their own journeys. Value each kol yachid v'yachid, your own journey, and value another person's. Thank you so much, Rabbi.